What's up everybody, it's your homeboy the Gunsmith, and it's almost that most wonderful time of the year, Christmas. We're only a couple of days away now, and I wanted to take this opportunity to put together an awesome vlog for you guys and show you just how we do Christmas up here in Toronto. I'm not a Christian, but I've always been really big on Christmas. I just like to stay up on Christmas Eve and expect a random bearded old dude to drop off some gifts for me. And you know, it usually happens, so that's pretty nice. Now here in Toronto, we get a massive amount of snow. I'm talking, you know, many centimeters, and if you're in America, that's several inches. So yeah, we get a lot of snow. In fact, here's the look outside my window right now. So, you know, this is the kind of time where you just want to bundle up in a lot of blankets, you know, with your loved ones and your fuzzy pets, and just, you know, drink some hot chocolate and keep eating shortbread until you're just a bloated mess. But, you know, if you do venture out, and if you live in Toronto or if you want to visit Toronto, I'm going to list a couple of destinations for you guys to check out this year or maybe in the future years, just so you know where to go and you're not aimlessly wandering in the frozen wasteland of Toronto. A few weeks ago, I had the chance to visit the official Toronto Christmas market with my wife. This happens at the Distillery District. Before I talk about this, I want to talk a little bit about the concept of a Christmas market. The idea behind a Christmas market is to celebrate the 4 weeks of Advent leading up to the nativity of Jesus Christ. So this actually started back in the Middle Ages in Germany, and Germany still holds some of the biggest, most impressive, and most beautiful Christmas markets in the world, including in cities like Dresden and Nuremberg. These markets get several million visitors each year. The Toronto Christmas Market is actually ranked one of the best in the world. The Toronto Christmas Market started back in 2010 and now it's in its 7th year. Now the Distillery District of Toronto is just east of downtown, and this area is a National Historic Site of Canada. This actually used to be a distillery for over 100 years. It actually ran from 1869 all the way to 1990 when it was shut down and eventually turned into this district with lots of shops, restaurants, and cafes. Whoever had the idea of turning the Toronto Distillery District into a Christmas market was really onto something, because all the beautiful Christmas lights and decorations, when they're put against these brick facades and industrial machinery, somehow create that ambiance that you would expect maybe in a little town in Germany. Now the thing about the distillery area in Toronto is that it gets really cold and windy. So when we went in November, winter hadn't even officially hit yet, but we were just like frozen to the bone. I mean, I just felt like a popsicle over there, man. So good thing they had like some heaters and they had some fire pits so you could just huddle around and, you know, make some awkward conversation with strangers and just spread the Christmas cheer while someone asks you to take a photo in front of a random sign. There was a wonderful choir performance going on as well, and it was right in front of a Christmas tree.
One foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, saying, Rudolph, with your nose so bright.
Now this is a 52-foot spruce tree. It really is the centerpiece of the market. Of course, there were lots of pop-up shops, and I really liked how much care they put into decorating these shops, and it wasn't just randomly put together. They had a matching look and decor, and you know, everyone at the shops was properly dressed and ready to spend the entire evening just, you know, serving people with a smile, and it was just really nice. There were a lot of food vendors as well, so obviously we had to get some hot chocolate, so we hit up Cacao 70, which is one of my favorite hot chocolate spots in Toronto. It was such a cold day that the hot chocolate was actually not even hot because it instantly got cool, and it was kind of disappointing, so we had to go back for another cup, and that one was a little bit hotter, so that was nice. I love the look of the Christmas market because they had these pink trees at the entrance as well, and they had this giant heart that you could take photos in front of. But there was a lineup to take the photos, and I wasn't standing in any kind of line, so I just kind of snuck some photos off to the side because that's how we do. I would say I was very impressed by the Christmas market, and I would definitely go there every year, I think, starting from now, because it just fills you full of Christmas cheer, and even if you're freezing, there are things to warm you up, and overall it's a worthwhile experience. So a few days later, we decided to go to Cavalcade of Lights in Phillips Square. Phillips Square is a public square in front of the Toronto City Hall, so it hosts like public events, concerts, and demonstrations and so forth. So it's kind of like Trafalgar Square in London, except we also have ice skating, so that's cool. The ice skating rink at the Phillips Square was rated one of the best in the world by Fairmont Hotels. And of course, Fairmont Hotels is a leading authority on ice skating rinks? Probably. During the summer, the area where the ice skating rink is used as a reflecting pool, and there's also some fountains, so it's also a pretty nice area to go to in the summer. In 2015, the Pan Am Games were held in Toronto, and at that time the Toronto sign was added, and this is an awesome sign that everyone takes Instagram photos in front of. This sign is just great for city pride, or just in case you happen to forget where you are. And you know, for Christmas, something creative was done with this sign where they actually changed the colors from blue to red and green, and that was just beautiful. So, Cavalcade of Lights is the event where the Christmas tree is officially lit, and there's some concerts and a lot of people gather every year, and there's some fireworks. So this is a great event that people should try to make it out to if they can. It does get a bit hectic, and of course it's cold. So the tree itself was just magical. This is, you know, Toronto's official Christmas tree. It's beautifully decorated. There's lots of ornaments, lots of lights, and it's way better than Montreal's tree for sure. In terms of performances, they had Kiran Ahluwalia, who is a mystic and Sufi singer who sings mostly Indian music. I thought she was amazing, but I thought she was also a little bit out of place in this environment because everyone was, I think, expecting Christmas music. And I guess Christmas is a religious holiday. She was singing religious music, but just about, you know, a different faith. So some people might be open-minded enough to enjoy it, but others probably were like, this is not Christmas music. So in any case, she's wicked, so check her out. Next there was a dude named Don Amero, which is a really badass name. But anyway, he was just playing a soulful acoustic guitar and singing Christmas music, and this guy was just a perfect fit for this environment. Please come home for Christmas. He's not Christmas. We enjoyed his performance, and I think everyone really liked him. At the end, there was a glorious fireworks display, and it was set to the tune of Justin Timberlake's Can't Stop the Feeling, which is voted the most hated song of 2016. I kind of like it actually, but you know, I'm not going to put the song in the video because I feel like it might be some kind of copyright thing, so I'm just going to put a random song. But here, you guys enjoy the fireworks display for a couple minutes, and I'll give you a break from my talking. The same night, we also walked over to Eaton Centre, and Eaton Centre is only a couple of blocks away from Phillips Square. In case you don't know what Eaton Centre is, it opened back in 1977 with Eaton's department store, which was a big deal at the time. But in the 1990s, the Eaton store actually shut down, but the name stayed, and this is now known as CF Eaton Centre, and it's actually the most visited tourist spot in Toronto, if you can believe it. It's a mall. So actually, that's kind of embarrassing, I think, for our city. I think it really should be some kind of museum or gallery, because come on guys, we're not that driven by consumerism that the most visited tourist spot is a mall. But anyway, before I go on a rant, I'm going to control myself and just try to restart that Christmas cheer inside me, you know, reignite that fireplace of warmth inside me so I can get back to talking about Christmas. So this mall runs along Yonge Street from Dundas all the way up to Queen, and maybe one of the reasons it's so popular is because it's just a convenient way to cross the street while, you know, escaping the cold. They had some gigantic reindeers made with lights, and these things were just really cool, I guess, and it must have taken a lot of effort to put these things up, and it made it feel like the whole mall was like Santa's village or something, so that was cool. Last but certainly not the least, they have Canada's largest Christmas tree, and this tree is over 100 feet tall. I feel like this might be North America's biggest Christmas tree. The one at Rockefeller Center in New York is only 94 feet tall, so we got 6 feet on that tree. That's pretty wicked, I think. This tree is just something to behold, man. It's mostly red, and it's got lots of ornaments, obviously, and I heard that this tree came up really quick. Like one day there was just a metal frame, and the next day the whole tree was up. So I feel like there was some Christmas elves working their thing. So something's going on here, guys. There is some magic in the air for sure. Afterwards, the same night, we also swung by Yonge-Dundas Square just to check out some more lights because we were just on a high of all this Christmas lighting and we just wanted to see more and more like the Christmas addicts that we are. So at Yonge-Dundas Square, the main tree that gets lit up every year, that was actually out, so that was kind of disappointing because that's what we went to see. But here's a picture of it so you guys know what it looks like. Let me tell you a little bit about Yonge-Dundas Square. So this is like our own Times Square. It was opened back in 2002. There's giant billboards everywhere. So we're trying to be just like New York in that way. But of course it's Canada, so everyone's just a touch more respectful and polite. And there's a lot more door holding going on. So at Yonge-Dundas Square, you can catch a lot of cool street artists, protests, and stuff like that. And sometimes there's raving lunatics that you want to avoid. This is one of the busiest intersections in Canada with over 100,000 pedestrians crossing every day. Just in case you forgot that Canada is actually a populated country where a lot of people live, this intersection will remind you of that the country is not big and empty like you thought. So yeah, the lights at Yonge-Dundas Square were pretty minimal, but they were still pretty cool. They did have 3 polar bears made purely of lights, so I think that kind of made up for everything because polar bears are a pretty cool animal. So overall, that was a little snapshot of how we do Christmas up here in Toronto. And there's a lot more events going on. There's Christmas markets and malls that are decorated to get you to buy stuff. But let's not forget the true meaning of Christmas, which I think is, just coming together and thinking of God and just being peaceful and being nice to each other. I just want to say Merry Christmas to you and your family, and thanks for watching my vlog. And if you're around Toronto, I hope to catch you around one of these spots next year. And take care and have a wonderful and happy holiday.